Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing today, my friend? In real time here as I record, the sun is shining. It feels so good. I feel so good. I'm so excited for this episode, and I hope that you are well as well. But as always, however you are dropping in today, you are absolutely welcome here, and I'm excited to share this moment with you. So if you are new, hey, hello, hi. My name is Talia Joy. I'm a coach, author, podcast host, and all-around guide to help you really implement the change that you're wanting in your life. So you're probably standing on the edge of a new chapter. You're in transformation. You're navigating this transformation and transition. And this is the space where you're called towards something more. You're actively moving towards something more, and you're wanting to really make it real. So that's when you come to this show. That's what I do with my one-on-one clients. We are reinventing. We are gaining clarity. We are taking action. We are stepping into that next level. So I am so excited that you are here. And that's what this show is all about. Self-growth made real, self-healing made real, because I know you've done a lot of work, introspection. You're already transforming. You've already overcome so much. And we are looking for that next level, which includes action. It includes making it real, grounding it right down to the ground. And we talk about all things to do with that, making your dreams your reality. And today we're talking about something that is really true on my heart as a way that I navigate life, how I teach my clients, how I really see this life experience. It's about becoming a good student of life. And I've talked about this a bit before, but there's more I want to talk about here. So whether you've heard me talk about it before or not, this is such a key in our evolution, because we're talking about how life is constantly interacting with us. My perspective is that life is a living, breathing thing, and we can bring in spirit, God, fate, purpose, all that stuff too. But really, in grounded essence, you are always interacting with life, and there are forces and laws of the universe and different things that are going on. You do have a vibe, you do have a subconscious, you are interacting with other people's energy fields, right? Life is happening all around us. It's a living, breathing thing that we are interacting with, and it really helps us when we look at it like that. So it's really, really important to learn how to be a good student of life and look at life in this way. So I'm so excited to break this all down today, give you a tangible tool toward the end, something you can write out. It can be a daily reflection, or after being inspired by this episode, you can go and take inventory of, how you are doing, and more importantly, what life is trying to say to you now, so that you can deepen that relationship with it. Even if you feel like you already walk hand in hand interacting with life, it's going to help you even more. So with that, I don't think I have anything else to say. Oh yeah, if you are new here or we are not friends already over on Instagram, come find me, everybody. It is at Talia Joy Manifestation. The link is below. I love to get to know you more there. I'm posting stories and reels and all the stuff in between the episodes. So come on over there. I would love to get to know you. Let me know that you're listening. And yeah, I'd love to get to know you better over on Instagram. So again, the link is below. It's Talia Joy Manifestation. All right. So with that, I think that's it. Take a deep breath. Drop your shoulders, maybe take a sip of water, and let's get into today's episode. Have you noticed how sometimes life feels like it's handing you the same lesson or the same memo, the same nudge, and sometimes it's wearing completely different outfits, or sometimes we hear a repeating theme over and over. So we've all been in the position where we've had maybe different relationships, but same lesson. Or different friendships, same lesson, different jobs, same lesson, right? We sometimes have, or we always have, especially if you're listening to this, you're into self-growth, you're introspective. We have these threads that go through things. So sometimes we get to a place, especially if we're getting a lot of signs, or, people are endlessly mentioning the same book or the same, few lines or, themes. We start to wonder, why is this happening? And, or like, okay, life, I hear you. What are you trying to say to me? Or, okay, I'm ready to get the memo. And I feel like we've all experienced this. It might even be you're in a job and slowly it just doesn't work for you more and more and more until something happens where you feel compelled to quit, or something happens where, life parts you ways. That can happen in relationships, and it doesn't even have to be in big things. You can experience, like I was talking about, where, some sort of thing like Japan, or maybe it's inner child healing or whatever. Everywhere you look, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about it, and it feels like a nudge. Or you find yourself saying, to yourself, I'm really ready to, really look after my body in a new way, or be more active. And all of a sudden a friend's like, hey, I joined this thing. You should come on Mondays. And sometimes it feels like, okay, what is happening? So this is the thread I want to tune into. We are always interacting and dancing with life. The question becomes, are we listening? Are we allowing life to grow us so that we can become that vision we see in our mind's eye? Because that vision you have for yourself of your quote unquote next level, or the higher self, or, what you're going for in a year or 5 years or 6 months or whatever, that version of you is just one that is more in tune with life, maybe dialed into your goals or receiving what it is you've been going for. You're feeling more confident, you're feeling more focused, maybe more clear, maybe with higher self-worth or self-care, whatever that next level is, life is guiding you there now. And that's really important to understand. So I want to say, if this is everything that you're going like, yes, I want to hear more and I'm really interested, this is literally what my book is about, The Delicate Art of Transformation. The link's below, it's on Amazon. But it's really about how life is always guiding us to grow through what we go through, and how when we, and everything we're going to talk about in this episode is also this, but when we call out for life or at life and we say, I want something different, I want something more meaningful, I want to start a business, or I want to get healthy, or I desire more connections, more friendships, those are like prayers, or almost like orders, without it being like you ordering life around. It's more like you're placing an order, like, hey, I desire this. And from that moment, life starts responding. So that's why sometimes we're like, hey, I could really use like a house cleaner to come in. And like the next day, your neighbor's like, yeah, my daughter has a house cleaning business. And you're like, what? That's literally how our dog came to us. It was the craziest thing. It wasn't to do with my neighbor, but just a weird series of events. The day after me and my husband went and basically acknowledged, yep, we're ready for a dog. She walked in, like the next day, the connection started happening. And it was like, I could not have planned that. Life is always communicating with us. So if you're interested in this, my book is incredible. It's broken down into shorter chapters that are all about themes, like messages from the universe, and listening to those, but also growing through what you go through, and how it's calling you to release certain patterns, certain wounds, and how we can powerfully move through these things and into our next level. So I recommend getting the book if you haven't already, but let's continue. So on that, life is always communicating with us. And it's not, as I'm describing, just in words, or some people want, if they're asking for God to communicate, or they're asking for a sign or a yes or no from the universe, we kind of want it to be like this giant neon sign that drops at the end of our driveway, or in the moment of prayer, we clearly, audibly hear the voice of God saying, yes, like hand out your resume to that job. And that's not necessarily how it works. And I'm just kind of being funny and extreme. I know you know that, but life breathes through opportunities, through your intuition, through those little coincidences, coinciding, where you say you need something and then someone literally comes into your work that offers that, or you're asking for an answer and something pops up on your feed that is not just algorithm, it's made for you. These things are breadcrumbs, and they're leading you in the direction of your dreams. So we learn to be a good student of life, because life is living, breathing, reflecting, and interacting with us through, as I'm saying, these intuition, or these opportunities, pardon me, also through excitement. When something happens, you're like, oh yeah, whether it's something random and creative or it's a business idea, excitement is life communicating with you. Life also communicates through resistance. When things are not working, when things feel off, that's a repelling energy, right? And you can just acknowledge that when you meet people. There's some people you meet that it's kind of like a little bit awkward, a little bit like, and you kind of have not necessarily aggressively repelling, but just meh energy. There's other people you meet that you feel drawn to. You feel like, oh man, let's hang out. Our kids could play. Or, if you're looking for a partner or new friends, you just get that yes feeling. And that's an attraction energy. So life is also speaking to us through those kinds of things. What are you attracted to? What are you gently like, not for me, or repelled by? So life, again, is always communicating, and it's communicating to pull you in the direction of what you say you want. You are the deliberate creator of this experience, and we co-create if it's a spiritual piece for you with God or universe. But either way, I believe, and you can see if this resonates, but source of it all has our back, but also is allowing us to choose our life and walk our path. And then we get to have that assistance of life, of the energies working with us. So when we start to notice certain ideas keep returning, or certain dreams keep resurfacing, or certain no feelings keep getting stronger, certain conversations just hit us different or leave us with a different energy. Certain opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. And it's important as we focus on being a good student of life that we slow down enough to start to notice them. And this is really important. And a huge thing, I didn't even plan on saying this, but I'm just going to say what it is. It's important we take technology breaks, whether that's just half an hour to just sit, or a Sunday where you're not on your phone or social media, whatever that is, because we are always stimulated right now. There's always something going on, and it distracts us from hearing this inner guidance. So we need to slow down to hear these certain ideas that keep returning, or the certain, kind of like, I've been feeling resistance. What is that really about? And if we just sit with that for a minute, it's incredible what comes forward. And I'm literally talking, you can do a minute or two. If sitting in silence freaks you out, you don't even have to close your eyes. Just sit and breathe for a second, slow down. Set a timer for 2 minutes and slow down. That's all it takes. If you are someone that likes to sit in stillness for longer, sitting in stillness allows you to more clearly navigate what's next, what's coming through, what you truly feel, right? So, when these things are happening, when certain opportunities are coming, or certain doors are closing, certain doors are opening, you feel attraction to certain things, you feel repelling energy to certain things, it is important to listen to that. And I'm going to get to in a second if you feel like it takes you a long time to learn, because I am that way. I feel like I'm like, I know, but I'm just going to do this other thing a bunch of times. So it's okay. We'll get to that. And I just want to touch on for a second, just something to ponder, that inspiration is spirit. Inspired means in spirit. It comes from I believe it's Latin, I don't have it in front of me, inspirato, which is in spirit. So to be inspired is to feel the flicker of your spirit. So when we are going through life and something hits us, or we're drawn toward a book, or we're inspired to start painting again, or start a business, or whatever it is, the idea, the vision, the realization, the creative impulse, the dream, the possibility, these moments are not random. Inspiration is inspired. Something comes alive in us, and those are things to pay attention to. To be a good student of life is to follow the breadcrumbs, and inspiration is huge. That's a huge way that life nudges us. Often we're asking for guidance. This happens all the time. I can raise my hand too. It happens to all of us. But often we're asking for guidance, whether it's spiritually or we're just in our head going like, what's my next level? Like, what should I do in my business? What should I do next here? We're often asking for that. We're seeking that while simultaneously ignoring the guidance we've already received, or the clarity or the answer you already know that's right in front of you. And that's okay. Again, I feel like I take a long time to learn sometimes. I'm getting a lot better the last few years. It's really accelerated, which is amazing. But we ask for signs, and then we dismiss the idea that won't leave us alone. Or we ask for clarity, and then we talk ourselves out of the things we feel called toward, or we just let our fear get the best of us. We don't take our next action to address the fear, or to move through, or to get a coach to help you be accountable, or whatever we need to do. We stop ourselves. But the direction is coming through, the clarity, the signs, life is interacting with you. And this is where most people get stuck. because inspiration is beautiful, and inspiration and your dreams and your visions are so important. When I start working with someone, that's the first thing I want to hear about is like, what is on your heart? What are we moving into? Tell me about it. And the insight isn't the transformation. The realization or the goal isn't simultaneously the end result. The transformation begins when we start doing it, when we start participating, when we start responding to life in a new way, when we start actively building our tomorrow, when we start acting on what we've learned, when we start acting on the inspirations and quicker and quicker and quicker. And this is where so many people get stuck. This is when I look back, some of the biggest things was like, it just took me a long time to admit that I was like, okay, this nudge has been coming through, or this is being called to look at. This part of my business is being called to shut down. This is a truth within me that's been percolating and bubbling. And okay, fine, it's not going away. But I am learning in the last few years that there's almost no downside to learning how to act faster. It's just that we're always kind of scared. It always just feels a little bit like, oh, should I? Or, my clients, a lot of times it's like, what if it's the wrong move? What if my intuition is wrong? And that's totally stuff that we work through and I navigate with people all the time. And simultaneously, it's true that if we don't live the lesson, if we don't receive the nudge, if we don't move with the nudge, if we don't implement what life is guiding us, if we don't, you get it. But if we don't implement how we are being guided, if we don't take the guidance, then we keep doing it on our own, relying on our own willpower and all of these other things, trying to grasp to something and trying to make things work, when really the answers are there. Life is telling us right now. And in a second, we're going to go through an exercise. I'm going to ask you a couple questions on the spot just to even show you that you already have that guidance coming through. But I want you to think about how a good student of life notices. A good student of life becomes curious, asks questions, pays attention, goes, even when it's uncomfortable. It doesn't mean we don't have our emotions and whatever, but okay, there's something really big here for me. Or I'm noticing this pattern, even if it's about you shutting down or certain things happening, other people, patterns showing up. Curious. And so instead of asking, why is this happening to me? And I knew this wouldn't work, which again, we have our pity parties, but we need to move on. We want to start asking, what is this teaching me? What is this resistance trying to show me? What answers are here for me? So instead of, why do I feel resistance? Why am I stuck? Shifting that into, what is this showing me? And instead of just like, what is the answer? What do I need to do? Looking at, what have I been receiving? How have I been nudged already? And again, with clients, everybody's life is different. Everybody's business and their details are different. So the nudges are going to be unique to you. But this is what is really important, is learning requires different actions. To be a true good student of life, from my perspective, take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. Awareness is beautiful, but awareness doesn't change our lives. That's why you can do a course and even learn about like your core wounds or something really important. But at the end of the day, we need to do something differently. And maybe life is telling you to set a boundary, trust yourself, leave a situation, start something new, end something, finally have a conversation, say yes, say no, because learning isn't the same as living it. Learning and living are different. So if you do feel like you've been a slow learner in this way, and I feel like I've had to touch the hot stove or whatever it is 7 million times to be like, oh shit, that's actually hot. If you feel like saying, okay, Talia, I've been learning the same lesson for 10 years, welcome. I know, me too. And there's things that get faster, and there's things that just continue to onion, continue to layer, and it's okay. Sometimes I need life to hand me the same lesson 17 different ways, sometimes all in one day, before I'm finally like, okay, fine, I'll slow down. Or, okay, fine, something needs to shift. Sometimes I know something intellectually long before I can embody it, and that's okay. This isn't a race. You're not behind. And I always love to say, like, you're not broken, you're not failing, you're doing nothing wrong. You're literally a human on this journey doing such a good job. You're learning and you're growing. So just remember, as I start to wrap up, life is co-creating with you. One of my favorite beliefs, and Rumi says this, what you seek is also seeking you. And when you become a good student of life, we start to notice that evidence everywhere. And I start to notice personally that the second I make a quote unquote right decision, like even if that's just softening with myself or, forgiveness or doing the right thing or trusting in the universe or trusting that I'm going to figure it out, just little and big things. Whenever I kind of make a nudge in the right direction, I really notice I'm instantly rewarded. Something pans out, something comes through. I see a 111. I all of a sudden get a payment come through. Like I do always notice that as I take a step in an aligned direction and I just try something, I then am guided from there. We talked about that in the last episode. So what you seek is also seeking you. And start to see that evidence of what is seeking you right in front of you. The conversations, the books, the opportunities, the people, the realizations, right? And that means even the closing of a door, as I mentioned, or the hard truths that are sometimes they do take time to face, and that's okay too. And that is key as well. Noticing what life is guiding you to do and trying to take the story and all the meaning out of it. Almost separating, like, this is the message and this is how I feel about the message. You can have your feeling like, oh my gosh, what if it fails, or that's scary, or I'm not ready to face that. That's okay. But we can still acknowledge the nudge and not just like la 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 with our ears, our fingers on our ears pretending it's not there. We can acknowledge. And there are times where I've said out loud, like to myself, or my spirit team, whoever, that I'm like, I am not ready to do that yet, but I hear you. And that's okay as well. So just really noticing the closing of doors, the opening of doors, the feelings, the nudges, life responding when things start feeling restrictive and crunchy, and when things feel open and expansive. Because this is where the guidance is. This is where life is co-creating and showing you where to go next. And remember that the key is that guidance alone isn't enough. We have to participate. We have to listen to the GPS directions to get there. We don't just pop them into the thing and then go, okay, cool, I'm going to freeball it, right? You got to listen. So we learn to listen. We have lots of grace for ourselves. We just kind of continue fumbling along, doing the best we can. So I want to take a little inventory now, and this is a practice that you can do daily or weekly or just right now with me. I'll pop it in the show notes. We're going to do a little student of life inventory. So grab a journal, take a walk, sip a tea, take a deep breath if you're driving, just be here in this moment. And I just want to ask you a few questions. As I said, I'll put it below if you want to write it down in a journal. Okay, take a deep breath in. Okay. What has life been showing me lately? What idea keeps returning? What am I being nudged toward? What feels next for me? What opportunities or synchronicities have appeared recently? What doors seem to be opening? What lessons keep showing up? And maybe most importantly, what do I already know that I haven't acted on yet? And take another deep breath in and let it go. So my invitation for you this week is simple. Observe, be a good student of life. Try to acknowledge what is coming up for you, even if you just write it down, even if you're not ready yet, it's okay. Pay attention, get curious, ask questions to yourself. What could this mean? What could this be leading me toward? And then when you're ready, take an action, any action. If life has been nudging you toward drinking more water, drink more water. Or going for a walk, go for a walk. If it's a big, hard conversation, do it when you're ready. But just start acting. because the lesson isn't complete once we receive it. The lesson becomes more complete and the wisdom becomes integrated, and then the results come when we live it. All right, my love, thank you for spending this time with me. If this resonated, I would love to hear from you. Come find me on Instagram, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. All right, namaste, friend.